then we're going to start. So we're going to go with C4. So now it's recording everything on the screen and our voices. You can see up here it's got that little stop button for ending it. There's the stop button. So I'm going to put in our go to the weekly agenda, C4 in the agenda. And then I would ask the user to read down or watch the agenda in the presentation when the speaker talks. And when they get to here, I think it's like new project pitches, project pitch example, active projects, hours equals price. Here, I should update that, huh? What's today? 3/28.
1 week later.
1 week later. Anybody can edit this, which is good and very engaging, is what I hope. And I encourage that in my document. Then you go to the hOEP's Hex Monopoly brief, which would be here. You click one time to get the URL, and then you can click again to open it in a new tab. And this is our Start Here document. All of my projects have Start Here. As we can see from Google Docs that somebody else is here too. Anonymous, what is this? You have an anonymous flip. The nice thing about using Google Docs for your onboarding, in my opinion, is that you can see when other people are there and actually participating. There's a lot of feedback. You can immediately type and contribute. So what I'm doing is, and I guess I'm going to kind of ruin the experience for you because you're a new user. I could just throw this at you and it should make sense without like me having to be here and hold it, right? It should be self-driving and autopilot.
Is that what you do with new members?
Most of them don't accept the possibility of an autopilot solution. They want personal FaceTime.
Okay.
But some of them, yes. Some of them I will say, start with this URL, just read. If you have any questions, let me know. And it should talk them through onboarding, orientation, go for a satisfaction survey, and do all that stuff automatically without needing my personal time. But most people don't want to commit personal time themselves unless they see that the project manager or project lead is willing to commit personal time to them first, right? You're the same way right now. Why don't you show me in person? So I'll ruin the experience for just you because you're actually more interested in the experience of training. So, but I have here, please help me in the next reader by adding a comment here with your final thoughts and how much time you spent reading, reasoning, and writing. Just click on this text box when you're done reading and add your thoughts to reply dialog that will open when you click here. Click there, and you could type something like, this sucked, you lied, this is not worth my time. That would hopefully not be what they say, but it's comforting as a new reader to think about the fact that if somebody really hated this project, they could do that. So the fact that no one has means that no one hates it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, no one likes it either. But it's a good engaging feedback strategy, which is what I really like. So then we have, I always start with a title. It's an H1 tag. You know, these are all tagged so you can get a table of contents. And up here I've got my URL at Code for America. That's a link to the Code for America website. Code for San Francisco. Hours equals price. This is actually my specific Google document for the master project. hOEP Monopoly. That's this document, and if you click on there, it'll take you down to the table of contents. Most people don't read that; they skip it because people don't generally read header footer information or click on it. So then you scroll down, you get a nice engaging picture. Pictures are important, at least for most people, maybe not for the coders. My project's unusual because I'm not really code focused like a lot of projects here. I'm in the research phase, not the code phase generally. And that makes a big difference on who's interested and how they interact with my project. I don't have a Slack channel. Some people have nothing but a Slack channel, some groups. So, then the next phase in any user experience is to confirm for the reader that they are at the right place, that they didn't click on the wrong link, and this is what they're interested in, right? Because we all know the world is full of bait and switch. So I start by repeating and elaborating on the original thing that you saw in the C4ME agenda. So here we've got a restatement of the needs. We've got an expanded but basically similar statement of the project this year. Reads very similar to the thing you just heard here. So we're doing repetition and reinforcement. That's part of the addictive and reinforcing design pattern that's been pioneered by, what is that, AJ? Never mind. Hooked? You've heard of the book Hooked? Are you a UX designer? Okay. Probably not relevant. Anyways, they so they read this. It's basically the same thing. I link back here again. I always link back to my document here. I always have a little table client and a permalink. So they always know how to get back. Always give them a way to get back home. Restate things. Elaborate a little bit more. A few more links. Start here. New team member questionnaire orientation. That's interesting to you. If you scroll down, you get some more graphics before starting orientation. So we tell you how much time. A little graphic to excite you. We have game night every Wednesday, 6 to 9:30 p.m. Runs till, not really sure yet. Bring your game persona. Vacancies open. Monopoly game is played with the current board and rules. Here's a link to an example. The contribution contest. So this is my project is actually in two parts. One, I'm building the game of Monopoly to test economic simulations. That's where people can code things like that. But we're also playing the game to test economic theories. So I talk a little bit here, and I break my contribution contest into 5 different steps. Because people like counting. That's a good part of letting people know how far they are, how far they have to go. They're judging the scope and the effort involved. How much commitment is going on here, right? So this is designed to quickly and easily inform them of what's involved in participating. Once they get that, they get to the table of contents, and so then we go to 5, quizzes, contest orientation start. I do this weird thing, which is kind of freaky. I count backwards. Motivationally, from a cognitive user's perspective, counting down is more encouraging than counting up.
Yeah.
You get higher participant rates for a process, for a 5-step process that counts 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, than you do for a process that counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because when you do it the other way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nobody knows that there isn't a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It just seems like an infinite work, possibly. When you get the countdown, it's really easy to do number 0. I don't expect everyone to do that. That's just because I'm like user experience unicorn design road guy, and I obsess about that sort of thing. Anyways, so the first thing after we've basically given them information, you have to give them. I found that you have to give users, about 5 pages worth of information before they will click and type on anything. People just don't want to contribute. They want to passively observe. At least at first, a lot of times. At least in my experience with this project. Maybe different projects are different. They want to verbally talk to you to confirm you're paying attention. But most people are like, they're not going to do a survey or type anything into a Google document because they think it goes nowhere. And that's what usually happens, let's face it.
That's what you do? You usually don't use it?
No, I use it.
You use
but
it,
most
but
of the time,
most people, okay.
when you go to a group and you say,
You
oh
get
yeah,
one of the other groups
like
who we aren't
go to
talking about.
C4ME, contribute some of your time to them, right? For their onboarding thing, right? What do you have to show for it afterwards?
Remember, we're recording this.
Yeah, it's okay to shit talk.
Yeah.
Anyways, I say all sorts of terrible things on this recording.
Everybody's going to see it.
But this interview, this might interest you, because this recreates a lot of what they're doing over there. So this is the hOEP Monopoly start here. It's a simple Google form. Anyone can make it for free. I got a basic blurb up here. Thank you for your interest. Here's our mission statement. You can find out more about us if you have any questions, blah, blah, blah. And also warning people that all of this gets made public, so don't write anything embarrassing. Then we get to the stuff that you've probably seen over there. Rank order what you most want from your participation in this project.
So instead of an app, you can just use a Google form.
And you can round trip it, right? I can coordinate and consolidate. Question 9. If you decided not to join this project or it was closed or never mentioned to you, then what do you expect you would be doing instead at this time right now? Another great question. What they're doing isn't bad, and a lot of people don't like Google Forms. Um, but these are good questions, and I shouldn't trash talk them because they're actually doing pretty good work. It's just I have this like huge ego, and I think I'm so
Marginal
much smarter.
returns. You talk about marginal returns, where it just like takes a lot more like work to kind of get it up there. Whereas this, you can just kind of do it like that.
No, they're well. I wasn't talking about that. I wouldn't disagree with what you're saying, but no, they're doing some different level of research. I mean, they're really doing a lot more needs analysis and stuff like that. Traditional UX design. I just threw this out based on my years of experience in the field.
Yep. Okay.
But this is a really good question that it gives you information. So, like, I don't know if you have any input on what sort of questions should be asked. I think that's maybe a little advanced. Let me just say, I think this is the best first two questions. This one, rank ordering. Rank ordering works in ways that yes or no answers or rate from 1 to 5
Deeper
doesn't.
data.
It's deeper data and it's more reliable. If you just say 1 to 5 stars, then you get a lot of 5 stars, a lot of 1 stars. It's not that useful compared to rank ordering, which forces people to put a second, third, fourth, fifth.
Okay.
Orientation, learn about the social good that's going to result from this project before you decide to invest your hours of time. Put that in the highlight, because that's what they really want to know after they've, gotten this far. So I'm paying a lot of attention to what their needs are in my onboarding form, I guess is what it is. And so I have them, please watch an introduction slideshow, 21 slides, 10 to 15 minutes. Give them a link. Another interesting thing is these links, Google codes, public links, public trackable, public analytics. That means not only can I find out how many people actually click on this link just by going to Google, typing in this link, and adding /analytics, I think that's what it is. But anyone else can too if they think I'm sketchy. Right? So this is independently verifiable. I'm not asking them to trust me. I'm not asking them to trust the system. I'm using Google as an authoritative, independent referee by using Google short links and Google Forms all the way. So that's the other advantage over a proprietary system where you really don't know what your data is going to be used. Here you know exactly how your data gets used.
Have you built the game yet?
Probably not.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Depends on what you mean by built.
Can somebody play it?
You can play Monopoly now online.
And your game, I mean?
My version, no.
Okay.
So you watch this slide, and I'm going to open this up, but probably you don't want to spend, I'm guessing, 10 to 15 minutes to watch 21 slides. That's not your focus. I'll just skim through it. Hi.
I just want to say congratulations. Amy said that you got a new job, so I want to say congratulations.
Did you want to take a break? Okay.
Dude, good to see you, man.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's going well. Heard you got a job.
I'm expecting the offer in the next few days.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to get some water.
Fingers crossed. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt if you guys were.
No, I need the water break.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man. Well, congratulations on continuing interviewing. And
Yeah.
I hope you get it.
So fun fact, actually, there is a startup accelerator that is just a few blocks down.
Yeah.
From our apartment.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you're thinking of.
Oh no, I'm also like interviewing with a company there as well.
Okay.
But, I just like in case like you ever drop by, like
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure, but like if you're interested, I might be able to like, get you in if you want to check it out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That'd be cool. Yeah. What are you guys working on over here?
So I'm like starting my own project.
Oh, nice.
So I'm basically like connecting with all of the group leads. So my project is this your first time here?
Yeah, so I don't know, like the first thing about what's happening.
Exactly.
Other than you guys are all working on different things, different groups,
Yeah.
doing different things.
So my
Hours equals price.
Yeah, so my project is part of what's for you. So basically, what Code for America has right now is that they have a new member orientation, which if you just got here, then you missed.
Yeah.
Um,
Does it happen every Wednesday? Okay, cool.
There's also a guy named Reed. Yeah, that's him right there, like with the dap
Bald
shirt,
head and blue shirt.
like gray shirt. The
Gray shirt?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
he,
Reed.
he's like he can like point you. He can like help you find like the right group for you. Right. So then my thing is like once you join that group, it's making sure that kind of there's enough there. There's enough of a process there that you can make a contribution by the end of your first meeting.
Oh, cool. And what, like, people are just working on different projects, and you either kind of do your own project or you join an existing project? Is that how it works? Or? Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're looking for kind of the right thing, you're gonna want to talk to Reed, kind of right by the pole.
Okay.
Or you could just join my project because it's the best.
It's the best. What is hours equals price?
It's a solution to poverty, based on the idea that you can make a price tag that's a free market product, much like a cash register or a display shelf, that works by pricing things, anything, higher for rich people and lower for poor people. This makes economic sense and makes
Sliding
the seller
scale.
profit.
Sliding scale.
Sliding scale. Yep.
How can you tell how much money somebody makes?
Well, no. It needs to be personalized. Right now, we just trust people, but we'll eventually have to co-op credit rating agencies
Yeah.
in a free market. This is a free market program, not a government thing.
Yeah. How does it work exactly?
Well, price. Oh, good. I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's see. Okay. Hours equals price coin is a project to design, test, and develop. I should warn you, we're recording everything.
Oh.
So don't say anything about your mom that you don't want her to hear. Probably
Love
it
you,
goes
Mom.
onto a YouTube channel that no one cares or watches. But just be aware of that. It's recording the screen and the audio only, so it doesn't get your face. Don't worry. So this is a project designed to test a sliding scale price tag. It's convenient to use and ubiquitous. How it works. I'll let you read. 'Cause you want to read that, right? Just click the button when you finish that slide.
That's a pretty good concept.
It should be pretty. It should be pretty engaging.
I like the
and answer your
concept.
questions.
I like the concept.
Thank you. And I'm going to use that quote.
It's pretty funny. You're gonna use what quote?
Are you done meeting? No. I like the concept.
Oh.
At the end of my thing,
Okay.
are quotes. You notice
Sure.
also at the top
Okay.
of my document? are
Yeah.
quotes.
Quote me.
I'm going to
quote
type
me.
that in for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, because like that is how people sort of think about it. Like, how much time is this going to cost me? Like, I mean, some people optimize for money, but like some people optimize for time, right? So it's just charging them in a different sense.
When I buy things at the store, I think, how many hours do I have to work to pay for this?
I don't think a lot of people think of that.
Reddit, there's a Reddit community discussion question on it. Gets a few responses. Not clear on percentages, but more than a trivial amount think that way.
Yeah. No, that is very interesting.
Oh, so how it helps. So the sliding scale price tag charges more to rich people than to poor people. Right? The more it's used, the more it will reduce financial inequality. To make the most profit, the seller would choose a hOEP coin price that's equally costly to everyone. And we want to consider a hypothetical seller, Epipene, hypothetically, has a monopoly on a medical patent device they sell for a regular price now of only $500. If they switch to selling at hOEP price, a poor buyer would get a 10 hOEP price tag. So they have to write 10 hOEP on a piece of paper.
Interesting.
$10 an hour is what a poor person makes on the job.
Yep.
Times 10 hours, it's $100. A $400 decrease to inequality, because they would have had to pay $500. Actually, it probably would have gone up without and died. But let's assume they had the money, and this is just decreasing inequality and not saving their life. A middle-income buyer who makes maybe $50 an hour, they get the same price tag, 10 hOEP. But their price doesn't really change. They're still paying $50. A very rich person pays $2,000.
So it's sort of a way, it sounds like, to mask, I mean, what we're actually, I see.
we're paying for things in terms of hours instead of money.
Yeah, and then we convert it into dollars
Right.
based on your hourly rate
Right.
at the cash register, so you don't have to deal with some figmentary hope piece of paper that says 10 hope on it. You can actually pay in dollar bills. And
So
the seller gets it.
so what's I mean, I'm sure you get this objection, but like what?
I'm gonna come back. In a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit.
How would wealthy people? Why would they agree to this system or participate in a system that?
They won't.
Yeah.
It's fine. Works without them.
How does it work without them?
Well, because in the process of haggling,
Yep.
a seller will automatically raise the price on rich people, and their only option is to shop around. The seller does that in haggling because the seller knows that a rich person will not spend an hour shopping around to save $5. A poor person, however, will. And the seller doesn't want to lose the low margin. It's less money than the high margin, but somebody who can shop around, they're not going to pay a $5 markup on something. They're going to shop around. That's
Right.
a lost sell. The seller gets nothing. If the rich people don't participate, the seller still catches money from the lower income people. It's lower profit margin per sell, but it's better than nothing, which is what they get without hope, the price tag. Now, here's the interesting thing.
But the whole concept is to try and reduce income inequality, right? I mean, like,
I, I don't know that this has a concept. It was a discovery.
okay, I'm just trying to better understand what the
This was a discovery, and I'm trying to, and it doesn't have a concept, it has effects.
Mhm.
And it was a economic discovery. It's like finding out you can split atoms and make an atom bomb.
Yeah,
Is there a concept to that? It's just research.
yeah.
So this is just research.
Okay.
But if EpiPen sells an hours equals price coin, then sales revenue jumped from $1,000 to $2,600. With regular dollar pricing, EpiPen sold only 2 at $500. Because the low-income customer couldn't afford to buy with a 10. Because the low-income customer couldn't afford to buy with a 10 Hope coin price, they sold all 3 of the EpiPens, 1 at 100, 1 at 500, 1 at 2,000. That's a 260% increase in profits. And 3 sales, just 3, decreased financial inequality by $1,900. Everybody wins, well, except for the rich guy.
Right. I mean, that's what you got. You've got to figure out a reason for them to participate, right?
Oh, well,
Because
EpiPen, it's easy. EpiPen owns a monopoly. If Bill Gates wants an EpiPen, he doesn't have an option to shop around. He can pay. Bill Gates is worth $1 million now.
yeah,
Yeah. So Bill Gates can pay $10 million for his EpiPen,
yeah.
or he can do without. That's the law. Works the same for him as for poor people. Other products that aren't strong monopolies, they can't charge quite as much. So depending on how much your monopoly is, sort of determines how much the vendor can charge, the seller can charge. So as soon as EpiPen gets a competitor, they'll probably have to lower that price.
Right. That's
But for right now, for the next 5 years or 10 years or something, they've got a monopoly on it. They might as well make as much money as they can. And the more money they make, the more they decrease financial inequality.
right. I mean, this is the same kind of concept as like a sliding scale. Using sliding scale payment methodology, right? I mean,
I've never heard of a sliding scale payment methodology in operation so far.
Yeah.
We do have examples. Well, there's the Switzerland Day Fine, the Swiss Day Fine.
I mean, for like counselors offer sliding scale services, right?
I don't know how they do that. How do
Yeah.
they do that?
I don't know how they understand what the income level of the person is, but they typically have.
This would be the way to do it. I think
Yeah.
it's hard for them.
Mm.
I think it's a lot of math, and they're like, I don't know. Okay, 50,000. I think they just fudge it.
It's possible.
Hey, how are you, Benjamin?
Good, Steve. Nice to meet you.
Steve, nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm Dave too, by the way.
Dave.
Sorry.
Maybe.
Amy?
Yes.
Nice to meet
About
you.
ready to kick
Yeah.
this bucket?
Yeah.
Sorry about
I'm just trying to figure out what a
What's that?
hOEP is.
Sorry about
Oh,
fishy.
this is interesting. I
all
will
they're trying
let
to-
Steve explain. He's capturing all this feedback, by the way, from the computer.
What's
So
a
our
hOEP?
conversation.
We're recording audio.
I'm gonna grab a slice of
Are you
pizza.
really?
Anything yeah, right from here.
What's a hOEP?
I appreciate the explanation. And
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
yeah, absolutely. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hours equals price.
You're good. You're good.
That's not how you spell hOEP.
No, it's a slightly different thing.
Oh, made to stick. Okay.
Hours equals price project is a project to design and test a sliding scale price tag that is convenient and ubiquitous. I don't mention it here. I mentioned it in another place, but this will make the seller profit and reduce financial inequality in very large amounts.
Okay.
So the way it works is the price tag says 2 hOEP coin. So that means 2 hours of your time equals the price you pay for something. And this is a book, for example, that might be sold for 2 hOEP coin. If you think that's a fair price, 2 hours of your time, then you click the buy button into your credit card info. If you're a first-time user, you check the box that says, yes, the IRS can release my AGW to calculate how much an hour of my time is worth.
Okay.
Charges to your credit card read 2 hours at $25 an hour.
So that book is $50?
Well, if you make 25 hours an hour. But what if you made $10 an hour? How much would the book cost?
$20?
Yeah, what if you made $5 an hour?
Okay, but so you're just saying that the book is just 2 hours?
That's how much it costs.
Okay. But then what's to
It's a
stop
download.
me from, Amy makes $200 an hour, and I make $3 an hour. So what's to stop Amy saying, "Hey, buy this for me real quick"?
The same thing that stops Amy from doing that now. It's a digital download. You could just fax it to her, email it to her.
Okay. So no, I'm just trying to explore what you're saying. Okay, so keep going.
Oh, sure. But also,
It averages out.
we create a duplicate anonymized public receipt, and we can data mine this, and they're all linked. So if you buy too many books and you resell them to Amy, we might
It's a
know.
blockchain. It's a blockchain.
Yeah, there does have to be a blockchain part of this to track things, yeah. How else? So sliding scale charges more to rich people than to poor people. We use the hypothetical. Have you heard of EpiPen? EpiPen?
EpiPen?
Yeah, you've heard of them, right?
Yes.
So we're using them as an example. Only we call them EpiPen to keep it hypothetical. So we worked out
Very
how much they would
topical
price.
example.
Yeah. Well, we know they're greedy, and we want to show that this works if everyone's greedy. And it does. For EpiPen, we would recommend, although EpiPen can always change it at any time, they can have short-term sales, whatever, but we recommend they would charge 10 hours. That means somebody who makes $50 an hour pays $500, no change to the price. A person who makes $10 an hour would pay $100. A rich buyer who makes $200 an hour would end up paying $2,000 for an EpiPen. Now, this decreases inequality each time. For the poor buyer, inequality decreased $400. For the rich buyer, inequality decreased $1,500. If EpiPen sells an hours equals price coin, then sales revenues jump from $1,000 to $2,600. Because with regular dollar pricing, they sold only 2 at $500 because a low-income person couldn't afford to buy. So they lost sell. They didn't make any profit. With a 10 hOEP coin price, they sold all 3, 1 at $100, 1 at $500, and 1 at $2,000. That is 260% profits, and 3 sales decreased financial inequality by $1,900 directly. That's pretty good.
Okay, so I'm not understanding what EpiPen?
Yeah. It's a hypothetical version of EpiPen, so I don't get sued.
Got it.
This is a little detail for Alberto. Alberto's extremely poor, and EpiPen, they're greedy. They're not, even if somebody makes $0 or $1 an hour, that's how much their time is worth because they're basic on a plate. They're not gonna sell it below cost. So this explains how EpiPen deals with that. They basically use a mixed price, which is $1, which is, what do I come up with? $25 plus 10 hOEP. That way, since their cost to produce 1 additional EpiPen, I think maybe if you've read, that's actually about $25. Right. So this way, they still don't lose money, even on somebody who's destitute. Although I don't know where somebody who's completely destitute would get the $25, but that would be their price. And EpiPen could sell them to people who are destitute at $25 all year, and it wouldn't hurt them. So they'll go for the deal. And for somebody who makes $1 an hour, now they can profit. They got $10 off that guy, whereas before it was just a lost sell. And the poor person, they're kind of happy about it too. It's better than dying. So social benefits of the scale. the way it works is kind of weird. It reverses most economic incentives. So, like, we use the traffic ticket example. If a traffic ticket is priced at 2 HOEP coin instead of $100, then a poor black student who works as a hairstylist would pay, what, $40? Assuming they make $20 an hour, I guess. A career-minded Latino driving a family car pays $100, and a rich old white man in a Lexus pays $500. As soon as the
Don't they
police...
do this in Mexico?
Switzerland. I don't know about Mexico. I know they do it in Switzerland. It's called a day fine. If it's done in Mexico, really?
Well, so I only know this from an anecdote where this woman was vacationing in Mexico. She was a singer, and she died when someone ran over her with a boat. It was this rich guy who owned a bunch of supermarkets, but he said that his one of his employees was driving, so the employee had to pay a much smaller fine.
I think maybe it was a lawsuit, not a fine, would be my guess. If somebody
Maybe.
actually got hurt, there would be a lawsuit. And lawsuits definitely do work that way.
Right.
As far as fines, I only know of the Swiss day fine system that does that currently. I've never heard of that being done in Mexico, but you might be right. You think I should Google it?
Let me get her name real quick.
Just let me know in advance. It's not on Tuesday. You tell me
Kirsty McCall. K-I-R.
K-I-R.
S-T-Y.
Wow.
M-A-C. There you go.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
this one? You want the Wikipedia?
Yeah. There should be a... There's
Want
a
to
bit
drive?
just-
Our boat there. Oh, Justice. I don't know. You're probably right.
that's the real word.
Yeah,
You're right,
If-
it was a lawsuit.
but no, not. He paid money in lieu of a prison sentence.
Oh.
So he had the time. He could do the time or pay for the crime. And the price, it looks like, is being adjusted.
Based on income.
But you're right that it was administered by a court.
And the restitution to her family was only $2,000.
Yeah. Oh, no, so the family didn't get it? The court took all that?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was just that was restitution.
Yeah,
So
punitive
that,
fine
the
of
punitive
100.
fine was one thing, and then the restitution was another.
He received money for taking the blame. Well, see, with our product, we have a digital blockchain. And we verify our users.
So you see, problem solved. We should tell Justice for Kirsty.
Yeah, I should. Maybe you can tell her for me.
There you go. There you go.
I'll have
Thank you.
Amy give me the breakdown on the HOEP coin.
Well, thank you for your time.
How long have you had this idea for?
2-3 years.
Okay. Oh,
Mostly
so
kept a secret.
it's been marinating for a while.
Yeah, I did a lot of secret research, just testing out parts of it.
Okay.
The market cap potentials for this, based on $7 trillion in annual U.S. retail sales, this would, in theory, increase that to $9 trillion, a $2 trillion increase in retail profits annually, and an additional $3.5 trillion in wealth transfer from the richest people to the poorest. So
Just talk to Square.
I did.
Oh, what they say?
Think about it. You know someone else?
Try again.
You want a picture for me?
Try again. Well, I feel you know your idea better than I do, definitely.
Well,
But I just know Square's in town. It's right here. So.
tried twice.
Everybody's
I tried twice, actually.
Huh?
I tried twice. The thing is, Square is
Times
not
charm,
in the
though.
business of taking business solution ideas from random people.
Yeah.
There's no, I want to give you your next killer app. Can I talk to somebody? You have to have at least $10,000 to even start that conversation.
Yeah. Huh.
I don't have $10,000. I can't even talk to the people who would say yes to something like that. I can't even talk to the people who would think about saying yes to something like that. But maybe you can.
Well,
You want a finder's fee? Finder's fee on $2 trillion could be pretty good.
Well,
If Square could do it,
well,
and I think they were. Actually, I even picked someone out at Square. Went to a lecture, talked to him afterwards a little bit, sent him an email, no response. You know, that happens all the time in business. I mean, business gets tons of frank ideas from crazy people they've never heard of before, meet at some discussion or some meetup or something like that. If it doesn't make sense in the first 30 seconds and it's not immediately actionable in the next week or two, that's the end of the idea and the communication. And that's what happened twice. And that's what will happen the third time, I think. I'd rather talk to you.
me.
Well, you've already replied to me, and you've shown acknowledgement that you understand the concept, which is further than I got along with Square. So
Okay.
I'm making more progress with you than I am with Square.
Okay, but I mean, I don't have the influence Square does, you know.
I don't have influence either.
Oh, okay. Well, but it's your idea.
Nah, other people had this idea before me. I just changed it and worked on it a little bit, and other people have worked on this project too. And if you work on it, it will be your idea also, and you'll get investment credit.
I'll get a what?
Investment credit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when you work on if you join my project, you can contribute in any way you think is useful. You record your time, and your time gives you investment credit in any profits that eventually come. Maybe nothing will come of this, but maybe Square says, yeah, that's a good
What's the
idea.
website?
Go to the Code for San Francisco
Oh, okay.
Hack Night agenda.
Okay.
Scroll down to active projects.
Okay.
There'll
Okay,
be a
there's
link
a
there.
thing there. Okay, and that's a Google sheet. What is that?
That's a Google Doc.
This is a Google Doc.
Yeah. Everything is Google
This
Docs
is
for me.
this.
That's,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta use the restroom real quick, but
I can
Okay.
give you a direct URL if you want.
sure. Yeah.
You can copy this or whatever. No worry, I'll be here. How are the restrooms? I haven't been to them lately.
Good. What did I do?
I kind of wish I were a girl so we could do like powder room breaks.
Ah.
The group restroom thing.
I really gotta go.
Uh-huh. Why is this not actually charging? This is not charging.
Yeah, you need to give it a credit card so it'll start charging.
Well, unfortunately, I'm kind of poor. And my battery's at 37%. These are two problems that don't go well together.
If you're in the same bar I'm in, I'm fully charged. So if you're not getting a connection, just relatively stable, maybe obvious, somewhere between try switching cables. Maybe.
I think you're right. Hey, back for more?
Let me just use the restroom first.
Oh yeah, your friends are there. There we go.
Group leads. 1 week. You were in there. Yeah. I'm just gonna remind everyone. 1 week left. Project investment fund.
You know, it's a good idea. I just I don't think it's right for my project. I've never accepted any money or used any money on it, and that's something I want to hold on to for a little bit longer if I can.
Sure. Sounds good. Well, you can change your mind for the next round or not, but up to you.
But I think it's a good idea. If I ever change my mind, you are the first person I'm going to talk to.
Okay. Good. All right, you guys.
But I will take an hour of your time if you'd like to review a slideshow. You could even join my project and accept the money on my behalf. I will accept time instead of money. If you'd like to contribute 1 hour of your time towards my project,
You might be able to do like half an hour in 2 weeks.
if I got a half-hour script that works as a concise, compact unit, I don't have a half-hour script that lets me get feedback. That means I'm just giving you information and not getting any verifiable data to support my efforts from it. How much would it cost for an extra half hour of your time?
Well, I can't pay you.
I can't pay you?
Yeah.
What if I had $2,000 to pay you?
Well, then you'd be accepting money.
Well,
Go
not if I
against your-
gave it right back to you for an hour of your time.
I think I'd get fired. Not that I have a job.
Well,
Is it for feedback for what you're doing?
it's a 21-page slideshow. Takes 15 minutes approximately, plus or minus 5 minutes. A feedback survey takes another 10 to 15 minutes, and a little bit of orientation or discussion material maybe takes another 15 minutes. I've actually seen people get through it in half an hour.
Is it for this?
Yeah,
Oh,
4 hours equals price,
Yeah.
and you get credit, investment credit in my project. 1 hour's worth of time. We only accept time as investment so far. But afterwards, you would have the option to join the project as a member, and we don't really control what you do. If you wanted to accept $2,000 on behalf of Hope Coin and the Hope Project, you could certainly do that. You wouldn't get credit or investment credit from the Hope Project for anything but your time, but whatever you wanted to use the money for that would advance our cause would be great.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
You just have to join first, which takes an hour.
yeah. I wish I had an hour.
Time is short, isn't it?
Yeah.
And money's plentiful.
Somewhat.
Sometimes.
You
Yeah.
don't-
If you've got a lot
you
of
don't have
money,
you don't have a bunch of folks.
if you don't have much money, it's money's short. But if you've got a lot of money, it's cheap.
Sure. Yeah. Interesting. Next week. Yeah, I'll just see. I mean, I got my own bunch of my own projects I'm trying to like bust out right now.
Totally. You should focus on what you love.
Yeah.
When you're looking for something different, something with a high impact potential, but a moonshot, something so fantastic it almost sounds fictional.
You're a great salesperson.
Thank you. I learned from you.
Yeah. How's it going, Alexander?
So I connected with like members from each group,
Yeah.
group leaders when I came, and it seems like there's consensus behind it.
Great. Okay, cool. Yeah, good to hear. Yeah, let me know if there's any other, yeah, just keep me up to date. I'd love to hear it, and then something we can definitely use because like that project works well, right? Then it can be integrated in a lot of the collateral, right? Of the hack thing. So, yeah, good stuff, and congrats on the job too.
Congratulations on the job. That seems to be the big thing. I'm impressed you're working on this at all, or even here. We got,
So I haven't received the offer yet. I'm expecting it in the next few days.
Oh, you just broke my heart.
Oh, what?
You just broke my heart.
What do you mean?
Haven't received the offer yet, expecting it in a few days.
No,
I don't want to tell you a story from my tragic past, but there are stories.
Oh no, yeah. So no, the reason why I say it like with confidence
Mhm.
is because the person like literally like she sent me an email saying like it's coming. I mean I don't know, but like just like from in this particular case like the stuff that because like it's not like a big company like I would be the first hire.
Oh, that's kind of neat. Well, congratulations. What are you going to do?
So basically she would be hiring me to build the MVP, which we could then present to investors for funding.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, only without the need for investors for funding. Maybe I'll ask for investors for funding.
Do you pay as well?
I pay investment credit. So every hour you contribute to the hOEP project gives you a hourly % share of decision making and any profits that might eventually come from what is potentially a $2 trillion profit margin market in the year in the USA annually.
Yeah, it sounds like you're almost ready to present to investors.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know how to stop them from just stealing the idea, though.
Make them sign an NDA, but you probably don't have enough funding to enforce it.
That's right.
Anyways,
My plan is to get a lot of people
okay.
first. Make it a crowd thing. Oh, are we continuing? Did you want to do that? I think I don't know what you wanted to do. I think I may have overridden your initial goal, which I think was just a survey to confirm that people aren't going to waste their time or be disappointed by clicking on a link or visiting my group. I mean, I think that's what you're doing. You're basically doing a little quick go over all the groups and make sure that new people who come by aren't going to have a bad experience.
Basically, at the beginning you said that you have some stuff. Is this what you're referring to, or did you have Did you have stuff like?
Oh yeah, I mentioned the project in the box thing. Yeah, basically what I'm promoting is this whole Google Doc onboarding system, which is basically a structured way of organizing the information you present to new people. First, you start with this format, the picture, the repeating. Then you go with an orientation thing. You have a form. The form should have rank order what you most want from your participation in this project, which is actually kind of like the questions you're asking there, right? This also has at the end. I think you saw in the beginning here that we've got 5 steps to this. Join the game, review summaries of past player contribution contest entries. So this game is played by, once you join, you could contribute code, research, gameplay, whatever. Once you're done with your contribution, you review your summary and you create a contest entry ticket in step 2. In step 3, you contribute when you see, when you review the past player, first you review past player contributions, right? Because somebody else has worked on this before, and you need to know, if you want to do React.js, you want to see what else has already been done in React.js. So we've got a whole document full of what's been added. You go through 15 to 30 minutes, you rate other people's contributions, rank choice them, rank order them for how useful they are to you, and then you contribute. 0.1 hour to 15 hours. Then you summarize your contributions and vote for others who contributed to your efforts. That's step 4. And step 5 is generate a receipt for your time and awards for participation, review and rate this game contest. In step 5, we have a form similar to an onboarding form, only it asks you, instead of what do you want most from this? It asks you, what did you get most from this? So, first form is, what do you want? The second is, what did you actually get? And it's all public. So, right now we're just starting out. No one's actually done a start and end form. But we'll run for a while, and we might run it again. And then people can go back and say, hey, did new hackathon visitors actually get what they were promised or what they wanted? And we can do numbers on it and all sorts of stuff. I don't know. Is that explain things? Is there anything? I don't want to overwhelm you. I think I might be just droning on about stuff that you don't care about.
Sort of.
It happens. I drone.
Yeah. Okay. So, basically, you kind of showed me some of the material that you have, and I was able to sort of skim through it as well. And then you've also been giving me like some of your thoughts as regarding like specific details of sort of the documentation. Yeah. So let me tell you about sort of my next steps. Are you still recording?
You want me to stop?